Hey folks, and welcome to another edition of the Little Joe Show. You know what, this week I want to talk about how to get warmed up, specifically to play slide guitar, and acoustic slide guitar, really, because I'm an acoustic guitar player for the most part, and I play slide and all this stuff, and I absorb a lot of things and will work them into my warm-up routine. And I've found as I've gotten older too, with my hands, they like to cramp, I have muscle problems, all kinds, which is why I went mainly to slide about, I guess it was 6 years ago now. During the pandemic, I really came back to my guitar playing. My hands had hurt so bad, and they were achy, and arthritis just kind of runs in my family, probably runs in everybody's family. And so I just thought slide would be a lot better. I'm only using one finger, and I'm just playing the chords. And as I went through time with that, I realized it's important to warm your hands up. Because if you don't, you can really have some problems. And it can make some of the more difficult techniques that I do a little bit, I say that like I'm some kind of amazing player. I'm not. But it makes some of the more difficult techniques that you're going to encounter harder to do if you're not warmed up. The other thing is when I go play a show, I don't have all day to sit there and go... sit and just warm my hands up playing all day long, because a lot of times maybe it's a festival. I do a lot of that kind of stuff. So I'll go, I want to watch everybody else, and there's really not always a spot to go sit down by yourself and run through your entire set. So you got to find a way to get it in about a half an hour, 15 minutes. I really don't spend a lot of time on warm-ups, but once I get into it and I get into some of the exercises, I find it very beneficial, and it can revolutionize your playing at a certain point. So the equipment that you're going to need, if you're going to do this for slide guitar, you're going to want a slide. Whatever picking system you use. I use a thumb pick, but there are parts on my warm-up where I hold it like a regular pick, Hey guys, I just want to take a minute to talk to you about this channel. My goal for this channel is the same as it's always been. To keep the blues alive, keep country blues alive. Get people interested in slide guitar and in blues guitar. And you guys can help me do that. If you could just subscribe to the channel, that'll keep all those things going. And like the videos, share them with your friends that you think would enjoy them. All right, guys, and thank you very much for watching my videos. I really appreciate it because you've powered this. You guys are the engine that powers this and keeps it going. All right, guys, back to the video. You're also going to want a metronome. This is the one I use. It's a little rechargeable metronome. I don't even know if I have batteries in it. Yeah, I am using 3 AAA batteries right now in it. But it's a little one, and I can recharge it if I need to. Anyway, metronome. I use mine set on 80 for the most part to start off with. And that's just where I leave it. And I will, on some techniques, if I'm trying to get faster, I'll push it faster. So I'm in open D, that's D-A-D, F-sharp, A-D. You can take warm-ups and do them in any tuning, do them in standard, open, whatever. You just have to adjust your fingerings a little bit. So let me just show you what I start with is just by kind of getting the guitar out. Just some very light playing, nothing specific. I'm just experimenting. I'm letting my hands kind of get warmed up. And I want to make sure everything's good and loose too. So a lot of times I'll stop and do this because if I tighten up doing something, it doesn't do me any good. Now, let me give you the first little warm-up lick that I have. And I'm going to just be completely transparent here. I got this one from a YouTuber, I suppose, and I actually start this one on 70. So I've got it set to 70, as you can see. I'm going to keep my slide on, even though it's got nothing to do with it, but I'm warming up to play slide guitar, so I keep it on. All right, and that's the warm-up, and I'll just do that for a little while. Excuse me. So, what am I doing? All I'm doing is I'm playing strings. Oh, by the way, this is the sixth. That's the first. So I'm going 6, 5, 4, 5, 6, 5, 4, 5. All right, and I try to do it with my thumb independent of my other fingers, although that doesn't always work, but I'll go. Then when I switch to the G, I'll put my second finger on the second fret of the 5th string, open 4th string, first finger, first fret of 3rd string, and I'll go 5, 4, 3, 4. And then I'm going to use the same pattern, but I'm going to go to the A7th, which is going to be, to play an A7th, I'm going to go open 5, 2nd fret, 2nd finger, 4, 1st fret, 1st finger, 3. And I'm going to go. And I'll start over again, and I'll just kind of go through it as if it were a chord progression, right? And you know what? And I got that from, like I said, a YouTuber. And I still struggle with that one. For some reason, without that movement is hard for my thumb. It's hard to keep it going. But it's important, since it is hard for me, that I keep on practicing it and playing it. And it's one of my warm-ups. All right, here's another warm-up. That's one that I got years ago when I was first playing. All right, now I will start this one at 80. So let me adjust this thing. This is chromatic. We're just going to start on the 6th string and work our way up to the 1st string. We're going to go open, 1, 2, 3. All down strokes, and I'm holding this as if it were a pick. And I do that just out of habit. Now, I also will do it with my thumb and first finger alternating. Okay? I'll do it with my first 2 fingers. Which I'm not good at. But these are all ways you can do, oops, I accidentally shifted that back, to warm up and just work up. And as I go up the strings, I will go. All down strokes. Then I'm going to shift up to the 4th fret and go back down. All right, and what I'm doing is, because I have the slide, I'm playing 3rd finger. Just go to the 1st string and I'll show you how to do it. 4th fret, 3rd finger. 2nd fret, 3rd fret, 2nd finger. 2nd fret, 1st finger. 1st fret, 1st finger. So I'm doing that shift. Then I'm going to go up one and go back up. And this time I'm going to be starting on the first finger and then shift. Shift, 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 shift. This time I'm going to go back down. This is about as far as I'll go on this guitar with this. If I have an electric, I'll go all the way up, as far as I can. And then we're going to shift back down, start working our way back down. And so on and so forth. You get the idea. We're going up and down. Now, and I know that's kind of an old school exercise, and that's one that I got out of a guitar magazine, I think way back in the 80s when I was first starting to play. And I was really into some of the more heavy metal stuff where I was trying to become a speed demon, which never worked out for me. Now, I've got another picking exercise for you that's also a good warm-up, all right? Now, it is triplets. Let me just play it. Excuse me, I'm doing it wrong. Here we go. Now, here's what's important. It's about your pick movement. All right. That's why I don't really bother too much with whatever string or, because you can go. And all it is, you want to go down, up, down. Every triplet. Down, up, down, down, up, down. Okay, so, and it works real well if you're going to do it gives it a little bit more of a powerful feel. Okay, and I wish I could remember the guy. It was in a Rick Beato interview, and I saw he was a gypsy jazz player, and he was using it to do all the that stuff. But it gives it a whole different sound. It gives it a more powerful sound. But not just that, it's a great exercise. So down, up, down. And you have to do this one. So. That was hard for me. But what it does is it gets your fingers going. Now, it gets your picking going. Now, that's something else that I'm personally working on right now, which is when I'm going out to play, I've invested so much time in open D and open G tuning. I tried to do standard slide. I do it a little bit sometimes, but it's just a lot easier for me to play the tunes in an open tuning, you know, and do the leads that way. All right. So let's talk about, so we can also work on intonation with this. Right, we're gonna go 3, 4. All right, we're doing a major scale. See how long we can keep everything ringing. Now, you do this a number of ways. You could do a 6/4 rhythm. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? You just have to find a way to keep the sound going. So you can... Okay, and that's and you know, that scale, and you go through all your modes that way. But that scale is, which by the way, let me just make sure here that I'm saying this right, because I do study some modal stuff. That is the Ionian scale, the Ionian mode, and that's just the root mode major. On the first string, it's open 2, 4, 5, 7, 9, 11, 12. And then you have Dorian, which is the second mode of a major scale, but I'm going to do it in the same D Dorian. Open 2, 3, 5, 7, 8, 10, 12. And you can use these, the modes, to go through and practice them, right? Let's see, what's the next one's Phrygian. That's open 1, 3, 5, 7, 8, 10, 12. All right, and you can move all through the modes. And we're going to study modes a little bit, just as ways to practice, ways to get different ideas into our playing. Even as country blues players, it's nice to know, you know, it's nice to know what you're doing. All right, so got that. And you can just slide through all the strings. And I would really recommend starting with the major scale. Just run through them all, because it'll help you. All right, now, that being said, and I do most of this with a metronome. Now we're going to kind of get away from the metronome a little bit and start warming up our fingers and our slide together. Okay, and that's, well, I'll go to the 12th fret and maybe do this. And this I will use the... and then work my way back up. All right, so what am I doing there? Oh, that's kind of like a really simple exercise. Just get your fingers and your slide in sync. All I'm doing is going 12 on the 4th string. It's the top 4 strings, so 12, 4th string, 10, 12 on the 3rd string, 10 on the 2nd string, and then 12 on the 1st string. Then come back to that 10 and then let it go. And I'm going to kind of let them ring. Like that. And don't worry, all this is going to be in tabs on this lesson over on Patreon. You can go over there, membership's $1, you can get in there. Or also, I forgot to mention, you can one time purchase the entire Little Joe Show series with all the tabs and everything over there. in my Patreon shop. If you don't wish to subscribe, you can just go in there and purchase it. And there you'll have it all anytime you want it. I just move everything down a fret. And you can see it's kind of challenging too, in that, as you can see with the mistakes I'm making, it's not always easy to keep it intonated correctly. And part of that with this, and I'm not trying to blame equipment, but part of it honestly is with a resonator guitar, it's kind of difficult to get them intonated correctly. I have to take mine to a luthier about 2 times a year to get him to look at it, him or her, whoever I can find to do it, just to look at it and go ahead and get it as intonated as they can. And I've been told it's really difficult sometimes. And I go down from the 12th down to about the 5th. And just stay there. Okay, and then, or go to the 5th and then come back up. And that's about as far as I go. The 3rd's okay. It's just so hard to do. A lot of times I will purposefully stay away from things that are going to make me incredibly irritated. Okay, now, here's the last thing I'm going to show you today about warming up. And this is more about the slide and the fingers together and slide movement. A lot of times for slide movement, I'll just do something like... I'll start with something like that. All I'm doing there is going 12, 10, 12, 12, 10, 12, 12, 10, 12, 12. I'm going first string, 12, 10, 12. Second string, 12, 12, 10, 12. Third string, 12, 10, 12. And then I'm just landing on the 4th string on the 12th fret. So let's start the old caboculator here. All right, and then, excuse me for messing that up, but I'll go 12, 5, and back up to 12 again. Also, I'll just play some, like, just normal licks. Like that, the old... And that's that old standard lick where you go 12, down to 10 on the 2nd string, and then come up to 12 on the 3rd string, and then hit 4, or hit 4th string, 12. Just improvise, okay, with some of the licks that I know. I'll show you. I'll just go up here and let's just improvise, and make sure you're keeping everything loose. You want your shoulders loose. A lot of times I'll tighten up here and here and get all crazy, but just everything needs to be loose. So and just do whatever. Just let your fingers move. You know, let things work out for themselves. And then lastly, I will get into a sort of a Travis picking thing and just... and just mess around. Get into Travis picking. Let's go ahead and I'll demonstrate. You know, and just whatever licks you want to do, whatever song, you know, you want to do. Let me speed this thing up. The only thing I don't like about this little bitty dial, and I got like these 5 sausages mounted on a ham. And all that stuff helps me get warmed up and ready to be able to do just my songs. Right? And just ready to go. Ready to experience my day. It's kind of like the way I'll start my day a lot of times. I'll get up early, sit down with my guitar, go ahead and just run through things. Playing with a metronome can greatly help your playing at all levels, all things that you're ever going to do. All right, guys, I'll have all these exercises written down. Remember, come up with your own exercises. Work through some of the YouTube exercises. There's lots of creators with great warm-ups. I just saw one the other day. I don't remember the name of the creator, but it was a fantastic warm-up. Watch some of these guitar players being interviewed on different channels. Rick Beato, tons of people follow him. You probably all know who I'm talking about. He gets people on there, and they play. And you can see them, and they tell you how they warm up, what they're working through. There was 2. One was Steve Morris did some great things. The other one, I wish I could remember this guy's name, but he's like a newer gypsy jazz player. And man, he did some great things, and he really talked about his process. All right, guys. Hey, if you like this content, please like and subscribe. If you want to get all the tabs, come on over to Patreon and join us over there. It's $1 a month. Or, like I said, you can just buy the collection of the Little Joe Show. I think it's $25 or $30. You get all of the shows, and it'll keep growing because I keep adding to it. All right, guys. Listen, have a great week. I will see you Patreon guys tomorrow. We're going to talk about Jimmy Page and the intro to Stairway to Heaven on the slide guitar tomorrow, guys. So get ready for that. All right, and then I'll see everybody on Friday for a quick lick.